Bitcoin and crypto bear market. Guys, today we need to talk about the reason why we are seeing such a free fall in crypto right now. Altcoins are wrecked. Bitcoin have been seeing a almost $10,000 drop during the last day or 24 to 36 hours. Guys, I will talk about what I am personally doing. I will talk about the reason why we're going down. I will back it up. I will give you the news. There's a lot of fear in the market right now that MicroStrategy also actually have to sell huge amounts of Bitcoin, and that's going to lead into further downside. Guys, make sure to stick around from the beginning until the end of this video. If you're holding any crypto at all, I will go over the trading strategies here, of course, as well. So yeah, very important stuff to talk about today, guys. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day. If you're new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. So let's get straight into it, and we have seen some absolutely crazy red candles here on the daily time frame here recently. So what you can see is from this top of the candle about 1 day ago, you can see that we have gone down by 13%. We reached all the way down to $82,000. Now, this is some levels that I was talking about a few days ago when I was talking about the lower targets we could go into. And right now we have hit one of those targets here at $82,000. Next one, if we see further downside, is $76,000. Now, this fall that you're seeing right now with Bitcoin accelerated when you dropped out of this channel right here. So that increased the bearish momentum for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was bearish on the shorter time frames, as you know if you've been watching my videos. And in the mid and long term, I still think that we are bullish, but in the short term, it was very clear that we are in a bearish period here. Now, the key thing is whether we are in a bear market and if we are in a bear market, how low are we going to go? Well, technically, the drop that you're seeing right now, I just want to mention this. So we have gone down by about, 33%, 34%. And if you look at the previous pullbacks in the cycle, right here, we went down by 33%. And if you look at the pullback before then, also in the cycle, we went down by 33%. So the percentage itself, 33%, we have already seen this, and we have always ended up going up higher this cycle. The difference is, if you look at this pullback right here in January, when we started the pullback down to 75K, here altcoins had reached a massive pump as well, but altcoins really never recovered and reached some of these peaks here. That's why this time it feels way worse. This drop feels also worse because the candles here, the most recent ones here from essentially since the October crash, we have more or less been in a complete free fall here since the October crash. Now, remember what I said here during October the 10th? I said that even though we're seeing a bounce, that's fine. But the thing is, we don't know, the October crash was of course right here. So yeah, since the free fall or since October here, we have more or less been in a complete free fall, 33% from this point. But what I said here is that we don't know the full extent of how this is actually going to affect the market in the near term, because even though you see a little bit of a bounce here, which we saw after the massive crash, we still don't know like who got liquidated. Are we seeing forced sellers from exchanges? Are we seeing forced sellers from market makers? And that is going to unfold during the next few weeks. And that is exactly what has happened. It's very clear that someone took a massive hit here on October the 10th. And yeah, since then we've been trending down non-stop here. Now, this is also going to give us a very good opportunity. As I've been saying, if you manage to get into the dips here and accumulate at decent prices, like if we go down to 75, 72, I think that's incredibly good. And not financial advice, of course, but for me, I see those as very good buying opportunities because I never subscribed to the idea. And that's also why we're seeing these drops right now, because everyone were expecting a massive pump right now. And when we are not seeing that massive pump, people are like, oh, it's the end of the 4-year cycle, it's the end of the 4-year cycle. But we didn't see the pump. So people start to question everything and they start to sell. Now, for me, as you know, I think that we're going to have a bit of sideways. We are going to have a slow recovery, but then make a new high in 2026, most likely at the end of 2026. So because of this, I have been prepared for the drops. Now, of course, yes, this is quite significant, 33%, even though we've seen it multiple times before in the cycle. But now the question is, how much lower are we going to go? Yeah, the only thing we can do is just watch these targets right here. 82, we have 75, next one is 72. So those are the levels that I'm watching very, very closely. If I get the opportunity to accumulate here on these drops, if we manage to reach these targets, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, guys. I'm just saying if we go down to these levels, I will be accumulating even more. And also, how does this relate to my trading strategies? I will get into that here in a little bit. First thing, Ethereum is also going down significantly. You can see that most of these coins are trying to stay above my key levels here, 121. You can see Solana having a little bit of a bounce here. You can see that Doge is right now below on this daily candle. However, it's trying to rally itself above this point again. And of course, Doge going down brings the entire meme coin market with it. XRP trying to stay above 195. BNB, you can see we have the support here at 773. Sui, I thought it was interesting, guys. If you look at many of these coins that had incredible pullbacks on October the 10th, like Sui went down 85%. Right now, we are still down, like even from the previous point here, we're down 61%. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the markets are not really doing that well here. With some altcoins in particular, you're seeing incredible sell-offs. If you look at traditional markets went down, huge red candle towards the downside, and also gold has been going down. So all the markets are going down, and especially crypto. And so the question becomes, what is the reason for this? Well, I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit, guys. First, an update on the trading strategies, because I know a lot of people are wondering. So first thing is that currently I'm down 1.7 million. So that's not good. I mean, it sucks to say it. However, when I put this into perspective, really it's not that bad. For the first part, is that my trading strategies, they continue to trade. I have the range here at 76,000 is the bottom of the range for Bitcoin. And now it sucks that I accumulate, like I bought Bitcoin with the trading strategies at the very top. So that increased my average price. In fact, my break-even price is $101,000. And that is also with the grid profit here considered. So if I didn't already have a lot of profit here with the algorithm, my break-even price would be like, I don't know, 110. So yeah, my buying of Bitcoin timing wise was not the best. However, the way I look at this, and if you've been watching my tutorial videos, is that I look at this as an alternative to holding. I think that this is better than holding any of these assets, because you're also using the volatility to make more gains. Now, if you look at this, 750K, that's how much I invested into this. 10x leverage, so that's $7.5 million. However, the good thing is that it's not deploying all of it at once. It is buying on the way down. Now, if I would have bought at $110,000, let's say, I would be down significantly. Let's say I bought at 110. Let's see how much I would be down. 110, I would be down 25 times 10x leverage. I would be down $240,000. Sorry, 240%. Instead, I'm only down 137. Now, if you look at the amount of Bitcoin that has been purchased here, it's 59 Bitcoin. And if we bring out the calculator, 59 Bitcoin times the current price, 83,700, that is $5 million. So instead of buying the entire $750,000 at much higher prices, I've been averaging down right now. And currently, the Bitcoin's worth is almost $5 million instead of 7.5, but I'm getting in at a lower average price, and it is going to continue to buy on the way down. So I'm already like, that's why I'm telling you, like, don't get too much FOMO at the top, and don't be too fearful at the bottom. Just with these trading strategies, it's automatically buying the dip, so you don't have to think about it, and it is automatically taking profit on the way up, so I don't have to time that as well. So that's absolutely beautiful. And let me take a better example, because this is not entirely good, because I've been, buying more on the way up, and I've been, increasing my average price that way. So let's take one of the strategies that has not been adjusted. It has just been left open without adding more to it, like this one right here. So we're currently at more or less the exact same price in which I opened this Ethereum strategy. And I would be more or less at break even right now. I would be at a little bit of a loss. But instead, I'm up 33K. I'm up 150% instead of being at like 20-30% loss. Actually, it's 10x leverage, so it'd be more. And also, if you look at the trend P&L, I'm minus $17,000. However, $3,000 from that is coming from the funding. Funding is something that you always have to pay if you are in a leverage position. So even if I just entered into a leverage position here, I am greatly outperforming just going into a leverage position. Same thing for Bitcoin here. I entered at 85,700. I haven't changed anything here. I haven't added more. I haven't taken anything out. So it's completely vanilla here. And I'm down, or the price is down, 83K. So I would be down quite significantly, but I'm actually at a bit of a profit because of the algorithm here, because of the trading strategy, doing its magic. And if you look at the trend P&L, a lot of this is also coming from the balance of the funding fee, which again, this is something you always have to pay if you're using a leverage position. In fact, I am paying less because I'm using the trading strategies. You pay less in funding fees if you're using the strategies because it's not deploying the full amount here. So that is all fine, guys. Same thing here for Solana. Look at Solana. I entered this at 140. It's down to 128, and I would be down significantly. But the algorithm has been making so much gains here with the Solana volatility. So at the end, I'm actually up 108%. So I mean, me using these trading strategies has actually gained me or saved me a lot from the losses I would have seen otherwise. Same thing for Doge here. I entered at 17.5 cents. It's down to 14. I would be down significantly, but I'm not because the trading strategy has been using these gains or making these gains. So that's fine. So I'm just going to, in terms of my trades, I'm going to continue to use these ones, of course. They're buying on the way down and I'm taking profit on the way up. So that is all great. And I think in 2026, we're going to see some more pumps, but we don't know exactly when this drop is going to end. Now, before I talk about some of the reasons why we're going down, if you want to use my trading strategies, right now Pionex has the best deposit campaign available. So the first thing is sign up to Pionex using this link right here if you want to use the same ones that I'm using. And then click on this link, it's going to take you here, and here you can see all of the details. There's only 5 days left, guys. So if you want to use, then make sure to go down here. You have all of the details, deposit 100, get 200, and so on. So make sure to check that out. And also the rest of the exchanges here in my description. You have Tapit, you have Bybit, Bitpanda, and these other ones. So make sure to check that out. So why are we in a free fall right now? Well, there's just a lot of people right now being fearful. A lot of people are just running for the exit. You can see that spot ETF buyers, they're actually down for the first time since 2024, in fact. So from the ETFs. So people are selling off the ETFs because also they are at a loss, just like anyone else in crypto, so to speak. You can see the outflows are pretty crazy. Almost $1 billion yesterday from the Bitcoin ETF. If we continue here, many of the treasury companies are starting to sell off their holdings. So Nexus, actually, which is an Ethereum asset company, they sold almost 11,000 Ethereum to buy back their shares. Now, this also, of course, adds selling pressure into the market, but more importantly, it creates fear in the market that some of these bigger ones are going to sell, like Bitmine. They are down $3.7 billion on their Ethereum strategy. And so, boom, you can see it that right here. And a lot of people are fearful that they are going to start dumping Ethereum into the open market, which is going to crash the prices. And if you look at what's actually happening, you can see that Bitcoin is actually buying more Ethereum. And they have been going out and saying that there is not an issue here and that they are well covered. Now, if you look at the CEO of Bitmine, they actually implied that there are manipulators right now trying to manipulate the prices down. And they are doing a pretty damn good job at it because the prices have been going down. But on the contrary, when we see that bottom, which I think it's going to take a while to form that bottom, guys. So you don't have to be in a super rush to buy if you think that we're going to go lower. I think that even if we see a bottom at these prices, I don't think it's going to be like just the bottom and then we catapult towards the upside. I think it's going to take a little while for the bottom to form in terms of volatility within a range, and then we're going to see a blast off at some point in 2026. That's what I believe, but I still think that these are pretty low prices compared to where I think Bitcoin is going to go. Also, in terms of MicroStrategy, Saylor went out and said that Bitcoin can actually fall by more than 80% and strategy would be completely fine. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about here according to Michael Saylor. Also, he said that we have 71 years of dividend coverage, assuming the price stays flat. And any Bitcoin appreciation beyond 1.41 is actually good to pay off dividend obligations. Now, here's the thing. We know that MicroStrategy have been borrowing a lot of money to buy Bitcoin, and that is where the fear comes from. Like, they cannot pay back all of the money that they have been borrowing. But it all makes sense here. As long as Bitcoin doesn't see like go to zero, then it's fine. If it goes to zero, then we're screwed anyway, right? So that's fine. Things are looking pretty decent. Nothing in regards to the fundamentals have changed for Bitcoin. However, there's something else with MicroStrategy that is worrying the market right now. And that is that MicroStrategy could actually be excluded from the NASDAQ 100. And that would cause, if they are excluded from the NASDAQ 100, that would cause like an outflow from the MicroStrategy stock of worth like somewhere around $2.8 billion to 8.8. So there's also causing fear in the market. Finally, I want to say all sort of narratives will circulate, but bear markets are normal. Bitcoin has topped in Q4 of the post-halving year and then bottomed approximately 1 year later. Trade the markets you have, not the market you want. But there's a lot of different things here. First off, the massive pump in Q4 that people were expecting really didn't happen. Instead, we just saw a prolonged chop here, essentially since the summer here. So you can see from July, we just went sideways and didn't see like a massive run towards Q4. And also what you can see here is that there's many differentiators here, because never in any cycle in the history of crypto has Bitcoin and most alts topped at the quantitative tightening end and before quantitative easing. So this is something that's very important, and it is different. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.